This is a mini seminar on the I2M Web Portal, which provides the geoscientist view of the world and off-world, sponsored by I2M Consulting in Houston, Texas. Let's take a look at the function, the purpose, and a little bit about the history of its development. This page will serve as a guide for this mini webinar. It will also be available in the description below the video, so you can have a look at the hyperlinks and related anytime you wish. So let's start out from the very beginning. I am Michael D. Campbell, Chief Geologist and Chief Hydrogeologist of I2M Consulting in Houston, Texas. In 2009, with the able guidance of my son, M. David Campbell, who's a professional geologist, we produced the I2M Web Portal. We needed to have a way of making our report drafts, our technical papers, and other items, internet products, available to the members of our consulting group when we were in the field, no matter where we are, where we were in the world, or on consulting assignments that had internet connections, such as in Australia, Vietnam, Africa, Europe, what have you. Let's have a brief look at the I2M Consulting homepage. Across the top here, the nav bars, you'll see anything you want to know about, or everything you want to know about I2M Consulting. Something about myself and my son and all of our associates, some of our services. We deal in both the environmental and in mining and natural resources evaluations. Here's an idea at the top here, a little nav link that goes to our product or our projects over the years. And here's an item on what we call what's new in the I2M. Here's the most recent story you may want to have a look at. It's about beyond hydrocarbons, the rest of the story. And of course, if you want to contact us, here's the contact nav bar, so feel free to do so. All right, let's get back into what the I2M web portal is all about. Over the years, we have built up the web portal to now contain a database of more than 10,500 records consisting of hyperlinks to industry and government reports, technical papers and technical news items, news releases, all technical in nature, all involving geoscience topics of interest to the management, ourselves, and our associates, and now made available to the geoscience community in general for those geoscientists in industry, university, and government. So let's have a quick look. This is the first part. It's the what about section. It'll tell you some of the background, some of the history that I don't touch on right now. This is what it looks like. This shows the category page. There's some 30-some categories of topics, so you'll want to peruse that. Here's some more examples of what we have. And of course, this gives you an idea of what's going on in the, it's an integral part of our I2M Consulting website. Okay. Let me expand this so you can see it. The I2M Web Portal reflects our clients' research activities over the years and our own research in support of the AAPG Energy Minerals Division's Uranium, Nuclear, and Rare Earth Committee, wherein I have served as the chairman of that committee since my appointment in 2004. We now begin many projects by checking the web portal for what we have available, that's available on the I2M web portal, even before we check Google. So let's have a look. Here's a page where we have searched. You'll see search results across the front here. We're searching in this case for everything we want to know about what's going on in Queensland. Of course, that's in Australia. And so what is returned by date and relevance in this matter, if you'll notice up here in the corner, if you can see my pointer, that is. This has been returned relative as relevance, not date. If I click the date, it'll give the most recent input, not necessarily the date of the article, but of the input date from the editors. Okay. Let's go back to where we were. Okay, let me get this thing big again. Okay, let's see. The I2M Web Portal is uploaded weekly with news reports, technical papers, technical news items that are submitted for review by the I2M editors that meet focused criteria in some 30 categories. These range from astrogeology to uranium, with an emphasis on the matters related to off-world energy resources, climate issues, critical minerals and mining, hydrogeology, and associated environmental considerations. Let's have a look. This is the What's New page. As you can see, this is showing the most recent one. This is set by date. This is up, you see up in here. And then there's 10, this is set to have 10 items per page. Then when you get to the end down here, you go to the second page down here in the bottom, you go to the next page and the next page and the next page. All right, the very last page on this particular category, there are 18 pages at 10 each. That's 180 papers, reports, what have you, that have been inputted for What's New just in the past week. So we do a number of these rather rapidly. So that's what's new. Let's go back to where we were. And expand the main sheet here. The portal is fully searchable, being a single word or short phrases of the record's title and abstract. In other words, all the words inside the abstract are also searched. Searches can be set to return results in chronological order or relevance or by name. Let's have a look. In this case, we're searching for rare earth elements. You don't have to put these plus signs in there, although it will return slightly different. But if you notice, each one of these will have the words rare earth and elements in there. Now, if you want them all together, you remove the plus, just like in the old days of Boolean, if you remember that. Just have it like this, and then you will get, let's research it here. Then you'll get everything that has these three words only. Not any word with rare, not any item, or not any resource or record with rare or earths that have to be all together if it qualifies for being in this particular return. So you can see that this is pretty well straightforward. Let's go back now. Back to the main page. Okay. All the records submissions are reviewed for possible bias according to our long-term monitoring of potential media bias regarding energy issues involving anti-nuclear, anti-mining publications, anti-climate media coverage, etc. Abstracts and associated comments indicated by bolding and surrounded by brackets as opposed to parentheses are archived as a record of their presence should they be removed from the internet by the originator. Let's have a look for guidance. This is a paper we prepared a few years ago about confronting bias, and we put together 27 reviews of these papers or reports, and you might want to have a check at that to get an idea of what we're doing and what we implement in the web portal here. Okay, let's move this back out. All right. The web portal also features field alerts and security alerts. They are warnings of potentially dangerous conditions. Let's have a look. Field alert, yeah, there's a summary, and each one of these field alerts have to do with something that you might run into as a geologist if you're in the field, such as, let's say there was an indication, I remember, about a particular problem in handling lignites in the lignite trend in Texas and Louisiana that is infectious, and you'll find that in here. But it also gives you an idea of other health issues that geologists have had to deal with, a reminder about hydration, about other health issues, and safety issues mostly. So we try to keep up to date on, and the same goes for security. Security is more related to the computer issues, and you can have a look at that. Okay, the last point I want to make is that regarding the use of the web portal, the time you spend reviewing papers and reports and all that may be allowed as credit for online continuing education purposes that many state professional geological licensing programs require. But you'll have to check with your state professional licensing board for guidance. Texas certainly has that, and we make good use of it. So I would have you to remind you to have a think about that. All right. To follow the activities of the I2M Web Portal and of I2M Consulting, please help yourself. Here's a main link that will take you to the main site, and here's a link to our email if you have comments or a question or what have you, and please help yourself. So let me close by saying feel free to send in candidate reports, articles, news items, and just make sure that those that you send in, you search the title in the portal, make sure that it's not already in the database. So with that, let me close by saying feel free to contact us anytime. So thank you very much.